For many, doing art is not easy, but for many more, trying to do art while studying is perhaps a struggle of a lifetime. This week we have animator, artist, as well as pharmaceutical 2B student Joycelyn Wolf.
Hi!
And let's get to this week's Yarrercast. Hello and welcome back to this week's Yarrercast. I'm your host Yarrtony2 and hope you're having a pretty nice first day, be it first day, afternoon, evening and morning, or even midnight because you're weird. Just chill and welcome to this second week of artist interviews. Yes, we're going to be having 3 weeks of artist interviews. If you haven't checked out last week's interview with Asha Vedra, you can check it out in the info tab. And next week we'll be interviewing Gem Artzy. But this week we have Joycelyn Wolf. But before we get to the interview, I've received news from Fateless Night as well as Triple of Doom that they will be airing new episodes this month. Fateless Night A Curse Episode 2 is going to be airing this August, as well as Triple of Doom's My Pride series Episode 6, airing August 31st this year. Let me tell you, animated shows are not easy to make, and I believe every artist who may have or had some plans for doing animated series, they should all understand that it takes an insane amount of effort, talent, music, and time to make just simply 15 minutes of television standard shows. And that's why go check out their shows and go watch their episodes if you haven't already. Give them some love and you will find all their related links in the description below. And let's get to this week's interview. With us today is animator, artist, as well as pharmaceutical 2B student Joycelyn Wolf, who is currently also animating an animated series that's called Unsustainable, in which I personally auditioned for a role called Lumio, and now I have already forgotten how did I voice for Lumio. But do tell us, Joycelyn, what exactly is Unsustainable?
Unsustainable is a sci-fi fantasy adventure show, and it's following a group of unlikely alien friends on a mission to save their planet. And it's been in production for quite a few months now, and I'm really excited for the first episode.
Hold up, guys, we have some terrible situation.
You might be a little while. Sounds like you had to go talk to his parents about something.
Yeah, I did not want to speak there.
This whole segment will probably be edited out, I imagine.
Yeah, I would imagine.
So do tell me a little bit about your artistic journey. How do you came to be today? Since when you started drawing? And please, no cliche answers, because I think I have been hearing them too many times from other artists.
Well, I've basically been drawing a very, very long time. I think since elementary school. Not only that, but I've been writing stories to go along with the characters, which kind of fed into why I wanted to make an animated series, because that just seemed like the perfect way to blend both of my passions, writing and art. I took a lot of art classes in middle school and high school, and that just kind of really pushed me along. And I also got inspired by a lot of different YouTubers and online animated series like Unknown Blood and Warrior Cats AMVs, and all that stuff really got me into animation too.
Yep, life is all about getting to like things till you do that thing that you like. The story of Unsustainable. Like, what exactly inspired you to write Unsustainable? How did it come from, and what are we looking forward to for the next few months or even the next few years?
Well, the first idea for Unsustainable came while I was listening to his song. It's called Six Shooter, and it's by Coyote Kisses. And not only the song, but also the cover art that whoever uploaded the song used for the video had like all these goofy characters shooting at each other in space. and it kind of gave me a Western vibe. So Unsustainable was originally supposed to be kind of a satire on Westerns, except in space. That was like the twist. And it was going to be really silly and more visual comedy driven and not as dialogue heavy and plot driven. But as I started writing a story for these characters to partake in, it became more plot driven and a little more character driven. Eventually, I just kept refining that idea till I got to the idea of unsustainable in the story I wanted. And currently, episode 1 is in editing, and it has been in editing, but I'm doing a better job. And I hope to release the first episode at the end of August and begin production on episode 2.
Well, everything's releasing episodes this August, am I right? Well, it's pretty good to have episodes releasing in August because I'm probably dying in boredom in this house, in this small apartment that's like a cage. And, well, you know Hong Kong housing is like that. But perhaps asks another question, and indeed the most questionable question is, why the title Unsustainable?
That actually took a lot of time. I actually didn't really know for a little bit what I wanted to title it, and I was kind of looking at the story and a little bit of what it was about, and it's kind of how do I explain? It's like from Wooly's perspective throughout the series, it's almost like his solar system or his planet is dying. But just saying that is kind of weird, but unsustainable, like not sustainable, also gives the same vibe while also being a word we don't really use very often and sounding cool. And I also saw it in an animation meme, maybe, don't at me, did.
I definitely saw the animation meme.
That animation meme too, actually. Just the music from it also gave me vibes that I was I was writing the story while listening to that song sometimes, so
life is all about listening songs and getting inspired, just like Type managing to design a character right after listening to a song. I don't know how she does that. How she does the weekly animation memes, that's even crazier. But yes, that's perhaps the most unsustainable story that I have ever heard from this unsustainable title. Sorry about the pun, but we are indeed looking forward to seeing a successful episode this August. Just like how I am hoping to seeing that I can finally begin production on Aaron and Nora, but it seems that it's never going to be a thing until I manage to have a life. Life is all about getting interrupted by your parents twice.
Alright, you good?
The parents even know the difficulties. The first level different teachings. But there are something else to this episode. This is insane. This is really insane. But I have to do best. Yes, we haven't taken it. Yes, we haven't taken it. I don't need to get the episode done today, or else I won't be able to edit it for the first day. A minimum of 48 hours.
I don't think I'm going to be upset if it was a day. We're doing this okay.
We're doing this right now. I think we'll be just one thing. Finishing up things, finishing up the recording at 12 hours ago. Yeah. We will be editing this and doing all that stuff. Yeah. It's just that, I just... Hottia! Somebody please send help. This is too much. Indeed, we are all looking forward to the airing and a successful broadcasting of the first episode of Unsustainable, the animated series. And yes, animation is not easy, and I can tell you that. But what's even worse is that if you are studying things that are not exactly related to animation, that could perhaps add an even worse burden on your shoulders. And to Joycelyn Wolf, studying medicine is also a very big struggle and a very big technique to get through the balance of it. So do tell me indeed, why study the most rigorous, perhaps the most unartistic and the most, you know, difficult subject that's related to health, which is medicine? What exactly and why exactly do you study medicine?
Well, I've always been interested in biology and that type of thing. For a long time I thought I was going to be a biologist, but I changed my mind. I really got into pharmacy because I have asthma and allergies, and I'm on multiple medications, and I've taken different ones, been on different plans for most of my life, pretty much, to control those things. And I've been sick with pneumonia before because of my asthma in the winter, so I was on medication for that, antibiotics. And I was just really curious to how it worked. And high school finally took an AP biology class and got a glimpse of how medication works in your body and how it helps helps other people. And I was just super intrigued. And after a little bit of research, I decided I wanted to go into pharmacy, and now I'm off to school.
Indeed, a great congratulations to your recent graduation of high school. You're going to be studying college, am I right?
Yes. Very soon.
What experience have you exactly had in studying medicine, and what kind of things do you hope to get out of after studying college?
Oh, in terms of experiences with medicine, I've had allergy attacks and asthma attacks in which medication saved my life. I have a severe allergy to nuts, so I've been taken to the hospital multiple times for that. I run cross country, so when asthma acts up, I can't compete, and that's frustrating for me. And I'm always looking for solutions to that during my cross country season. So those experiences kind of led me to looking into pharmacy as a career. As for what I want to get out of pharmacy is not only do I want to understand myself, but I want to understand just people in general so I can help them. Whether that means I work in a lab making medicines, or I work in a hospital meeting with patients and figuring out the best medication for them that's on the market, I'll be able to help people with everything I learn, and also hopefully feel stable in a job that I love at the same time.
Indeed, medicine can be very, very stable because it's like a traditional job, and art is not exactly the most traditional thing ever. But here comes the question. Indeed, in this pandemic, we're all suffering from extremely difficult employment and unemployment rates. It's increasing over time, and especially I've been seeing American welfare policies have been putting on some bit of problems on their unemployment-related welfare. Do you think that the pandemic would actually affect your career, and would you actually be considering other ways of trying to pursue your different goals?
I think what's going on now definitely impacts the career. I think at least within the US, it changes how people will hopefully see pharmaceutical companies and doctors and people in the medical field in general. Hopefully the field will expand so we can speed up the process of making medications for people. Maybe we'll see higher investment in those types of things. I don't know. Of course, 6 years from now, I don't know if that kind of stimulus will still be in effect. But I'm fairly confident that I'll be able to find a good job where I can actually use my skills effectively once I do graduate.
For the 4th time! Oh my gosh. It's going to be quite the investment, hopefully, for different careers, especially careers that are currently facing crises in this big coronavirus pandemic. But studying medicine is not the easiest thing in the world. My mom and dad are both pharmacists. My sister currently studies medicine, and there seems to be a lot of rigorous tests, as well as a lot of reciting and a lot of terrible things that are so technical that's exactly not art related. To study medicine while doing art and animations, like when worlds collide, do you exactly find this really hard to experience and to adjust and to get over with?
Definitely, even just in high school. I know in the beginning of the year when I was still on the cross-country team and running, I would come home and I didn't really want to sit down and do art on my digital computer. Well, I wanted to, but I felt really tired. And a lot of the time I would end up doing the majority of my art and animation on the weekends. When I had the most time when I was at home all day, I would do that definitely more. Now that I'm going to college and I can see my college schedule, It's my first semester is actually set up really nicely, and it looks like I'll have time in the evening, so that after I get back to my dorm from my classes, I can get a snack, do my studying, and once my studying's over, hopefully have 30 minutes, maybe a little more, at the end of every day to just work a little bit on my animations and just kind of work on it in my spare time and on my weekend time, that type of thing. But definitely school's gonna have to come first for me, because in the end, that's where I want to succeed, and my art is just a fun hobby that I have the privilege of doing very frequently.
Indeed, privilege it is, because not everyone has the privilege of doing art frequently. In societies where art is discouraged, such as Hong Kong, I can tell you that doing art is just like trying to hide something from your parents and not being allowed to do that, and constantly having to finding ways to hide your art, while it is a great hobby of yours. So to the many people across the globe that may not exactly have the privilege, opportunity, and exposure, or even the likeness of art, but they want to do art while studying, what would be your advice for them to pursue art while studying their academic to excellence?
Well, definitely put your academics first, that's more important, but force yourself not to waste time. That's something I tend to do, is I can just sit down and chill for way too long when I could be working on either school or I could be working on my art. So when you have free time, use it. Use it to watch an art video or follow a tutorial. Carry a sketchbook around, so when you're sitting on the bus, eating at lunch, or at recess, or whatever break you have, you can doodle during that time to work on your art skills. At home, if you have a spare few minutes, or even more, doodle, draw. Just really spend your time wisely, compartmentalize if you need to, maybe even have a schedule so that you can get all your stuff done and have time for art. Just make time for it when you can, and don't sweat it when you can't.
Indeed, time management is crucial, not only just for artists, but for many people across the globe. In these dire times when we're forced at home, when Sunday blends into Monday and morning blends into evenings, and life is all about trying to live another day, it is really difficult to get some things done, and it's really difficult to get some things organized. But if one is to study to academic excellence and be excellent, as well as expertise, as well as being experts and professional in multiple regions, this is perhaps a very important and crucial skill. So the ultimate question of the day: is art the best medicine?
I think it is. This makes me feel better when I'm drawing. You never know. If you just try it, maybe it'll make you feel better too.
If you're being banned by parents from doing art and being forced to do mouse art because you can't exactly have the time and space to do so in the open because your parents hate you doing art. It's not an easy thing, but there are many valuable things that we can get out of this week's interview. And once again, thank you Joycelyn so much for joining us with this week's very disastrous podcast. I've been interrupted 4 times this week and it's not going away. I just really hate it when parents ruin their kids' career. But things happen and we do have to get over it. This month, besides then, Fateless Nights Accursed, Triple of Dooms, My Pride, and hopefully even the first episode of Unsustainable, me and Joycelyn, we are also going to be releasing our animation collab that we've started to work on since the beginning of August. Currently, we're still working on it slowly, and especially with me, mouse art and everything, it's not easy. But we also really hope that this is going to be my final mouse art assignment. Once I get to, I don't know, can you say high school or college, because it's a really weird hybrid of both, this September, I will be perhaps given the opportunity and chance and time to do art with a drawing tablet for the first time in my entire life. Yes, not many people have the privilege of drawing with a drawing tablet indeed, and not many people have the privilege of doing art. But wherever in the big world that's out there, indeed, try your best to pursue the things that you like the most. And that's all for this week's Yarrercast. Check out Joycelyn Wood's channel for animations as well as her Unsustainable series. Check out the link in descriptions below for the animated shows that will be airing this August. And next week we will be interviewing Gem Artzy. Thank you once again for being with us here, Joycelyn, at least twice already.
Not a problem. I had a great time.
And we will see you guys next week. Remember to comment, like, and subscribe. And goodbye.